My name is Ken Signorello, and I'm a youth mentor. I have been for 12 years. Over that time, I've wondered just how youth mentoring actually works to impact a child's life. I've come up with a theory. Youth mentoring is like movements of objects in space, also known as astrophysics. I work with community friends, which is part of the Howard Center, but there are lots of other local groups. Every week, mentor pairs get together and do some sort of activity. It could be go to a movie, do a project, or just hang out, but mostly have fun. This is a bench project that my mentee Jock and I did. We actually did sell it. A few years ago, I began to wonder how just getting together once a week can have any real impact on a child's life. And by now you must be wondering, just how this relates to astrophysics. Well, take a look at this slide. The New Horizons probe, which went to Pluto, started off but was influenced by Jupiter, changed the trajectory, and increased the speed by about 20% to set it on its course and destiny with a close encounter with Pluto. Not a huge effect, but after 10 years, it makes a difference. About 5 years ago, I did a photo project where I went out with mentor pairs during their regular weekly activities. I wanted to try and capture mentoring at work and maybe get some insight into the magic of mentoring. This is John and Charles at the Audubon Center. Here's Cindy and Sabrina at the Pizza Pot, common destination. I was surprised at how quickly my subjects became used to my presence and just began to ignore me. Within a half an hour of shooting, it was like I wasn't even there. Kind of explains how all those reality show people don't seem to notice the cameramen that are surrounding them. This is Prue and her mentee at Shelburne Farms. What I started to notice were these subtle moments when a mentee and a mentor make a brief connection, often too quick or fleeting to notice in real time. But when I reviewed the images I was capturing, I could see it. Here's Ken and Kevin working on a project making birdhouses that they were going to sell. They were planning to use the proceeds to go on a trip to New York City. I distinctly remember Ken's unimposing guidance. You can sort of see it here. This is Patty and Tatiana. I followed them for a bit of cross-country skiing, and then we went into the house and made some cookies. Turned out that Tatiana there, she was the cousin of a mentee that I was seeing at the time. Kind of a surprise in a small world. But these connections that I was recording were often just a moment of shared enjoyment, or the realization of a mutual understanding, or maybe the recognition of a bond strengthening. These photos may give you the impression of some lingering deep eye contact, but it's not really like that at all. Well, sort of, but it's very quick. More like a subliminal message, a message that only they can sense and now my camera can see. Back to astrophysics. There are lots of asteroids orbiting our solar system. All it takes is a little nudge or a close pass by another asteroid or comet to disrupt that orbit and set up a fate that can end with a planetary collision. Not right away, often much later. Don't think it can happen? 2 years ago, 12,000-ton meteor blew up in the Earth's atmosphere above the Russian town of Chelyabinsk. No one saw it coming, but did you know that there was another, larger, 44,000-ton asteroid that was being tracked that passed within 17,000 miles of Earth 16 hours later? Here's the connection to mentoring. I believe that youth mentors, just by virtue of their presence and these brief but steady and regular interactions, hardly noticeable, can accumulate their effect and change the effect on the long-term trajectory of a child's life. If applied early enough, just like with the New Horizons probe, the final destination can be quite different than it otherwise might have been. Hopefully a more positive outcome. Here's Sabrina and Cindy again at the Pizza Pot. Just being there, providing stability that can be counted on, is like a planet keeping its moon in stable orbit just by the force of gravity. A mentor can change a child's outlook, how they see themselves, and what they believe they can achieve. Many kids waiting for mentors have had their lives disrupted, very much like an asteroid knocked from its otherwise stable orbit. Many don't have a positive influence from a caring adult in their lives. Here's Patty and Tatiana again, making cookies. Not a hugely inspirational activity, but every week, over a number of years, these simple shared activities facilitate connections. These influences, although individually small, add up and can make a big difference. A youth mentor can be like a planet deflecting or capturing into its orbit a wayward satellite, otherwise headed for a certain disaster, just by being there and exerting the subtle force and steady influence of gravity. So be a heavenly body and influence the trajectory of a young person. You don't have to do much, just be there. Or take a more active role and become a mentor and nudge. Do it early enough and often enough, your impact can be profound.